What's going on, you guys? Jay here, and welcome back to the channel. So don't forget to smash the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. The Terra Classic community is eagerly awaiting updates on TAX2GAS from Genuine Labs. In this video, we'll dive into the latest developments, the challenges being faced, and what the future holds for this critical update. So if you're invested in LUNC or just interested in its future, stick around. We're going to break everything down for you. Strathcole has actually been kind enough to provide an update on TAX2GAS, so let's start with where things currently stand. After the rollback of Rebel 2 testnet, they received version 3.23 from Genuine Labs, aimed at fixing earlier issues. This update unfortunately ran into similar problems. Despite several efforts to resolve these issues, no solution has been entirely successful so far. Recent attempts to modify the upstream Cosmos SDK and Comet BFT code have also been made. This approach has actually been discussed as rather controversial, and many in the community, including Orbit Labs, who are a new development team on the scene, actually prefer to avoid the unnecessary forking of the upstream code to streamline future maintenance. So, as of today, the Rebel 2 testnet is still running version 3.23, but they're working on the next steps. Around a week ago, a potential solution was proposed to Genuine Labs in the form of 2 pull requests. We actually discussed these in the recent Twitter space held last Thursday. These were both designed to address the existing problems in the initial work done by Genuine Labs. Despite the submission, communication with Genuine Labs, as you can imagine, has just not been there, with absolutely no feedback since the proposal. So as a backup plan, Orbit Labs has actually stepped in to review these pull requests, and they've been digging deep into TAX2GAS and the overall concept, asking important questions to ensure everything's on track. Their review should be completed in the coming days, which would allow us to, as you could probably imagine, move forward with a new version of 3.24. This version would then be deployed on the Rebel 2 testnet for further testing in a more realistic environment. Local tests have already been conducted, but real-world testing is essential before any major rollouts. We've learned from previous mistakes. Let's talk about some of Strath's concerns. If tests do go well, the next steps will be assessing the impact of deploying this on the mainnet. A major issue they're discussing is the lack of communication with existing dApps wallet providers and CEXs about the potential effects of TAX2GAS on their operations. Some key concerns include a significant 70 to 80% reduction in on-chain gas fee income. This will undoubtedly impact how validators, stakers, and developers earn rewards. Additionally, simulations within some dApps, including Kepler Station and probably Trust Wallet, maybe even Ledger as well, could fail as they may not yet be optimized for this change. Finally, tax payments will undergo structural changes, which could affect users across various platforms, including your very basic holders, ranging up to those high-level developers, and even including very small projects and protocols. These are critical points that must be considered before any mainnet deployment, and I have been raising these concerns with some of the developers, saying if the update is going to break the chain, if it is going to make areas redundant, we shouldn't really deploy the update because it's not actually ready. We haven't gone and done the length work. We haven't run the tests. We haven't checked with all of these points of contact. So something that the community will probably need to discuss going forward is the idea of some kind of committee stewardship program and official chain representatives that can have the ability to communicate with these CEXs in an official manner that is embraced by the blockchain. And there are different ways and means we can actually go about doing this. Each CEX has representatives and they provide them with special codes. When clicking on them, it takes you to an area where you can go in and ensure that that is the person who in fact represents that CEX, protocol, project, dApp, wallet. Another concern StrafeCo has raised here is the topic on payment for work already done. Genuine Labs has contributed significantly to the Tax2GAS efforts, and despite some people's reservations about the implementation, the community has approved their approach, and they are, in Strafe's opinion, due partial payment for their work. He's proposing a 50% payment to Genuine Labs once all known issues have been resolved and the testnet is functioning correctly. This actually provides fairness for the work done and really ensures that we don't rush the deployment onto the mainnet. So he's further stating that once mainnet deployment is actually successful and stable, the remaining 50% could actually be claimed. If the community feels the full amount isn't actually appropriate, we can just go through governance voting to get a conclusion in hand. In the end, the community is probably going to be the ones who decide how to proceed. So what's next? Well, we're waiting for Orbit Labs to finalize their review of those 2 pull requests that we mentioned. And if everything goes well, they should be deploying on the Rebel 2 testnet for broader testing. Once tested thoroughly, the community can then discuss and vote on the possible mainnet deployment, as we always do. This is where governance becomes absolutely crucial. The community will need to engage in those discussions, propose changes, and vote on the final implementation, a common situation that plays out quite a lot. People don't give their feedback and validators don't give their feedback until it actually goes up for vote. This in itself really slows down the overall process that is governance when feedback could be given prior, the proposal could be amended prior, and the voting process could go 100% smoother. In the end, Tax2GAS represents an important step for the LUNC ecosystem, but when we need to ensure it's done right, it's about balancing that innovation with stability and making sure the community's voice is heard at every step. And I really can't be any bolder on that statement. Let's summarize this video down in simple terms. The problem is the initial update with Tax2GAS on the LUNC chain faced technical issues during testing, which is causing delays. These problems still persist in the latest version that we've mentioned, making it difficult to implement on the mainnet. So the proposed solution are these 2 fixes that have been proposed, being pull request 519 and 520. These both aim to address the technical problems from the original version. These fixes were sent to Genuine Labs for review, but no response has been received yet. So the backup plan is Orbit Labs stepping in to help. They're currently reviewing these fixes to ensure everything is working properly. Once Orbit Labs approves the changes, a new version will be tested on the Rebel 2 testnet in a more realistic environment. The next steps are going to be, if everything works smoothly, the community can discuss on how to handle the effects that this could have on dApps, wallets, and exchanges that we mentioned. Once everybody agrees and the necessary preparations are made, Tax2GAS will be rolled out on the mainnet. The payment for the work done is supposed to be 50% after the successful testnet deployment, and then the remaining 50% to be paid once the update is live on the mainnet and everything is working as intended. So I hope this has got you 100% up to date and helped you better understand the circumstances surrounding Genuine Labs, Tax2GAS, and how we're going to be moving forward. And this is really a positive video. It's a good solution, and it seems like we've got the right people behind the scenes once again pushing things forward. So I'm very happy, I'm very bullish, and when this market starts to move upwards and BTC really starts to shift this market into the next gear, we've already seen that Lunar Classic is reacting very well to those movements, and I really think we're going to see some kind of monumental move play out during this halving cycle. But what are your thoughts on this proposed action plan? Do you think Strafe's got a good thing going? Should we push forward with the mainnet release, or are there more concerns to address? Let me know in the comment section what you guys think. I really appreciate you guys tuning in today. Don't forget to smash the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and drop a comment on the way out. It's really going to help the channel out here, and it's really going to help us to continue growing. Aside that, just stay safe, stay humble, stay aware, and as always, I'll catch you in the next one.